we've got 3 different books here to show you guys, all from different sort of categories, and we're just gonna get started.
Yeah, okay, so the first book that we've got to talk to you is actually one of Esther's books, and it's called Design Sponge at Home by Grace Bonney. Is that a nice name?
Yeah.
Grace Bonney.
Yeah.
This is a beautiful book.
Before we actually get into the actual book, I just want to say, don't you love just collecting books that look good?
Yes.
That's a sickness.
It's a problem.
Yeah.
My boyfriend Matt worked at Waterstones, so he had mega discount, and also he would come home from work with about 6 books every night.
That's awesome.
You saw how many books he
Yeah, she has a lot of books,
Yeah, and I just love them. And it's a real sickness because like you've got so many to read, and you know that you've got to read them before you want to buy any more.
Sometimes, I don't know if you and Matt have these nights, but it's like a laid back evening. You've got music on, you've got like takeaway food, and you just page through these books. Like they're coffee table books, but they don't stay on your coffee table.
No, they don't. They come into your life, your heart. So this book is essentially a decor book, a home decor book, and I'm gonna let you talk about it a little bit more because it's your book and you kind of know more about it. I'm just listening.
We're mixing it up here. Yeah. Basically, Design Sponge at Home. This is a book by the creator of the blog Design Sponge.
I've never seen it. I need to. Okay.
Do you read the blog?
No, I need to make a mental note.
So actually, it was my boyfriend who introduced me to the blog and the book because he's really big into home decor. And it's just like, it's his thing. He loves it. But it says here, Grace Bonney is the founder of Design Sponge, the most popular single-site design blog. She lives in Brooklyn, New York with her husband. The blog is amazing. I'm on the blog a lot. But the book is so nice because you can feel it. And it's really great because it has so many different inspirational pictures. And not all of it is necessarily my style or probably your style.
Different styles,
Yeah. Different ideas, and it just gives you, like I said, inspiration if you're trying to redo a room, or just add something like a pillow or just a little do-it-yourself activity.
This is nice, I like that.
Yeah, it's just nice ideas of how to hang pictures, wallpaper, upholstering chairs, you know, getting something at a market and turning it into something cool. Definitely one to pick up if you are or even aren't trying to redecorate your place.
Yeah, I think it's good because when you're on things like Pinterest, they're really, really great. Like, I'm always on Pinterest, especially if I go shopping for furniture. At the moment, I'm obsessively furniture shopping. So it's really great to, if you're in a store and you see something that you like, you can look for inspiration around it and look for other pieces that might work. But you don't always want to be looking at a screen. You don't always want to have your iPad or be sat. For me, I have an iMac, so I'm sat up at uncomfortable chair. This isn't, like you said, more relaxing, just
not hard on the eyes. The next book we're going to talk about is called When God Was a Rabbit by Sarah Winman. Is that how you say that? This is actually a recommendation from Gemma. She's read this before and she said that I should read it. And I've seen lots of people talk about this book before, and I must admit, the cover, it got me.
It's nice.
I love that brown paper with a metallic. I really got into this book and I found myself reading it in place of watching Vampire Diaries.
Which is a shocking thing for Esther, I've got to tell you.
I love that show. It didn't take you ages to get into in the beginning, which is half the battle, really.
It's about life, and that sounds really vague and it sounds really like I'm trying to skimp out and talking about the book. But it is about life. It's about a series of events. It's about events that link different things through your life, like a line that goes through your life, that something that happens later on might remind you of something from your childhood, and how people's lives are interwoven and how people's lives can turn out really differently even though they have the same start in life, maybe. What I find really interesting about this book, I think it's really nicely written because it starts out quite dark. You know, there are some dark events at the beginning of the book and you think, wow, holy shit, I didn't think that's how this book was going to go. And for me, it balances the light and the dark really, really well. And I think that whenever there's something really dark happening, it's almost presented not in a humorous way, but it's sort of, there's a fine line between how funny you find a scene and then you're like, oh shit, something bad's happening. And that's kind of like life. I'm getting a bit deep here, but there is a fine line. There's a fine line between tragedy and humour sometimes. And I think it's just perfectly balanced, and it's just written really nicely. And if you haven't read it, like Esther said, it's a really quick, engaging read. I love it.
I'm just gonna rip that out of your mouth. I'm just gonna read the back because I always read the back. It says, this is a book about a brother and sister. It's a book about childhood and growing up, friendships and families, triumph and tragedy, and everything in between. More than anything, it's a book about love in all its forms. So really great novel if maybe you're someone who is trying to get back into reading, can't get back on the bandwagon, want something, you know, soul in the soul, not like total trash book, but also an easy read. Yeah. I'm not big into cooking. It stresses me out, I don't enjoy it, and I'm not good at it. So that's 3 reasons why I don't do it. But Gemma, on the other hand, is an excellent cook.
No,
She's gonna be
honest.
cooking.
I like cooking. I'm not that great, but I'm better at cooking than I am at baking. I can't bake.
Anyway, we have quite a selection of cookbooks because Aslan, my boyfriend, is a really great cook as well.
Yeah,
he is a good cook, and he loves cookbooks, and I love looking through them. And this is one of his favorites. It's called Jerusalem. And I have paged through this a couple of times, and I know that he's made a couple recipes from this, which I have loved. But I am definitely no expert on the subject, so I'm passing it along to the resident chef here.
Okay, well, Ottolenghi specialises in kind of Middle Eastern, I'm pretty sure it's Israeli. Most of his recipes have sort of a Middle Eastern flavour to them, so if you like that kind of food, it's really good. This book, Jerusalem, is I think one of the newer ones. This one is not vegetarian, but there are some vegetarian, because I'm vegetarian, you're not. This isn't vegetarian, and normally when I buy cookbooks, I don't always go for pure vegetarian cookbooks, because if I see something that's like meatballs, I know I can substitute, I can switch things up, and Matt, my boyfriend, isn't vegetarian, he eats meat, so it's good to just get a bit of inspiration from other recipes, but there are vegetarian recipes in here, there are sweet recipes and things like that.
There's lots of dips and stuff in there.
A lot of dips.
Really good,
But the cookbook that I love from Ottolenghi, and I refer to it all the time, is called Plenty, and it's a vegetarian one.
I don't have that one.
No, it's called Plenty, it's vegetarian, and he is not vegetarian, which I find really interesting, because I feel like sometimes the best recipes that are vegetarian come from non-vegetarians. Because they look at it from a different angle, you know? They look at it from almost like a meat eater's angle. So even the veggie recipes in here, I think meat eaters would be really satisfied with.
It says, the flavors and smells of this city are our mother tongue. Wild herbs picked on school trips, days in markets, the smell of the dry soil on a summer's day, goats and sheep roaming the hills, fresh pitas, or as you would say, pitas, chopped parsley, chopped liver, black figs, syrupy cakes, crumbly cookies. So if that doesn't entice you, nothing we say will.
Yeah, and this book is by Ottolenghi and also Sammi Tamimi as well. So it's not just Ottolenghi, but I would really recommend checking out all of his other shizzle that he's got going on.
And it looks cool on your shelf.
So there are 3 books that we would really recommend you guys checking out, and let us know if you've read these books, if you have anything similar that you think we would like as well. We're always open.
So if there are any other categories like travel, beauty, you know, there's lots of different book categories. Let us know.
So many.
It's endless. It really is. But let us know. We will hunt those down.
Yes, we will.
And I think that's it.
I think we're gonna go now. We'll talk to you later. TTYL.
I'm just gonna keep waving.
Bye.